Fade in.
Our fans will be thrilled that Hayden Christensen will be returning in the role of Darth Vader. This will be the rematch of the century.
Blasphemer!
G'day guys and welcome back to Raging Ryno. Alright, a few weeks ago we of course had this teaser drop for the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Now in this teaser they doubled down on the fact that there's going to be a rematch between Obi-Wan and Vader at some point. They're going to be crossing blades again. We've of course had Kathleen Kennedy talk about how it was quite an emotional reunion between Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen and how excited they are to be back in these roles. And how excited they are to, of course, have this fight. Now, I think I've made it pretty well known in regards to how I feel regarding this. To me, if they do a rematch of any kind, actually in the flesh, that is law-breaking, it does damage to the original trilogy, it does damage to the fight on Mustafar, and the connection between episode 3 and 4. So I thought I'd put a poll out there just to see what the fans think, what people think in regards to this announcement of the rematch of the century. So my tweet and my poll was, is the Obi-Wan vs. Vader rematch in the Kenobi show destructive to lore, continuity, and the character of Obi-Wan Kenobi? Out of 642 votes, 80.7% say yes and 19.3% say no. We're going to go through some of the comments, but I also put this poll out on my YouTube community page. And of course, it was the exact same question and there was only 62. Now, of course, I would think that there's going to be a little bit of a crossover between my Twitter and my YouTube channel. But of course, there was only 62 people that voted there. 92% say yes and 8% say no. We will go through a couple of the comments on that one. But again, I've made it pretty well known in regards to how I feel about this. Under no circumstances should Obi-Wan Kenobi be leaving Tatooine, in my opinion. Should he be making any decisions that affect his survival or Luke's survival. And under no circumstances should Vader actually sense or know that Obi-Wan is alive or sense Obi-Wan or anything like that. So before I get into a couple of things that I wanted to actually point out, we'll go through the comments because the comments actually go into that. So we've got the good Tom King here. He says, probably, unless they're going world between worlds. Now, look, I think the world between worlds isn't a multiverse. When we're being introduced to the world between worlds, everything that we hear and everything that's going on is stuff that we've heard and stuff that has actually gone on. It's still one timeline. Now, I don't like the whole aspect of the world between worlds being introduced and being a part of canon, and the fact that it is able to bring people back from the dead, so to speak. But I don't see how that is going to be effective in any way. I don't see how that can work, world between worlds. Why would they bring the world between worlds into the Kenobi show? I don't really see how they can actually bring that in. We've got Stunning and Brave Megatron saying it's retarded as fuck. We've got Soul Assassin saying yep. I think a lot of the people that watch me consistently would think that it's destructive to lore, to the character, all of that sort of thing. So we've got another one here. If it stays in a dream world or in the world between worlds, you might be able to pull it off. I'm convinced they won't stick to that. Yeah, well, look, I'm convinced they won't stick to that either because I don't believe that they think that this is a problem. I think that they think that in A New Hope, all the dialogue and everything that takes place, they go, oh, he wasn't explicitly saying Mustafar was the last time he sensed him. But when you really pull those bits of dialogue apart, as I have in one of my previous videos, and I'll link it, it actually does do damage to those conversations. It does damage to that last fight, and that, like the last fight when I say on Mustafar, that's the one that I'm talking about. It does damage to that. It takes away the strength of that, and then the rematch being on the Death Star. In regards to it being a dream, this is what, look, if they do a dream of a fight that happened or didn't happen, I mean, the dream, if it's a dream of a fight that's taken place, the only dream that it could be is the fight on Mustafar. But the art that we've seen, the concept art that we've seen, is of course Vader in the suit. Now, in a dream sequence, he could be dreaming that they're on Mustafar and fighting, and he's fighting him in the suit. But again, that's not really then a rematch, first of all. It's a dream that they're promoting as a rematch, and they're hoping that the half an episode long fight that they do as a dream is going to be enough to get some hype behind it. It might be. Based on what we see from The Mandalorian, it probably will be. But let's go on with a couple more. Okay, we've got this one here. To be fair, Obi-Wan says Vader is more machine now than man. So he has to know about his cybernetics somehow. Well, if you actually do read any of the EU, I would say that the best examples would be the Obi-Wan book, the Kenobi book, or The Rise of Darth Vader, which I've gone into in a previous video as well. There is the holonet, and Vader isn't a Sith Lord that's hiding. The entire galaxy knows who Vader is. They're fearful. He is that statue that pushes fear in the galaxy. So for that to be the justification of why they need to go into a rematch, for Obi-Wan to know about his cybernetics, and that explains why he says he's more machine now than man, that doesn't add up, because there is the holonet, which Stig sort of points out there. There's the in-universe TV and news stations and stuff like that. So that really answers that. We've got Eric here saying, how is this even a question? Oh, because Disney has the rights to just throw Star Wars on any crap they make now. Absolutely. And that's what it is. Star Wars now isn't Star Wars. It doesn't have the heart. It doesn't have the soul that Star Wars had when it was under George Lucas. It just doesn't. And to say that George Lucas is the key to that staying in Star Wars isn't true either. Because there are fans out there that would create Star Wars for Lucasfilm that would be absolutely brilliant. Because it's such a fleshed out universe. It's such a fleshed out world that the fans that know what Star Wars really is and the substance of it, they'd make good Star Wars. That's what I truly believe. At this point, screw it. They already messed up the lore anyways. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. We got Positive Sam here saying, the what in the what now? The rematch took place on the Death Star. Absolutely. Let's see. I just want to go through. I want to see if I can find somebody that sort of thinks would have voted no. This one. How about watch the show and see how it all pans out? Better do that than just jump all over it and say it's a bad thing. There's no canon concerning this. And I think it would be an interesting wrinkle in the Obi-Wan and Vader relationship. Hashtag give it a chance. Okay, the thing is that it's not necessary. I mean, I find that the most people that would have voted no are more hoping that it's a nightmare scene. I mean, this comment just before it from JP. I say yes, it will be destructive to lore having Vader and Kenobi rematch again before A New Hope. Unless the rematch is a vision, in brackets, nightmare. Well, again, that means that there is no weight to this fight whatsoever. The only reason why this fight is there is for the flashy lights. To have Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor as those two characters on screen again. No one's come out, it seems that this nightmare thing, or the vision thing, or the world between worlds thing is more what the fans are hoping that they're going to do than what it's really being plugged as, what it's being promoted as. And then we've got Adam here, where's third option? No one cares. Well, there are still people out there that care. Let's take a look. We only had a couple of comments on the YouTube side. The first comment here is, the ratio speaks for itself. How I love democracy. Yep, absolutely. Again, here, if it's some kind of force vision, that's fine. In person would ruin it. I agree. I do agree. But it's like, again, what's the purpose of actually putting that in there? I mean, if they want to do a nightmare sequence and show how Obi-Wan is really struggling with what happened and has PTSD because of what happened, you don't have to do an entire force vision scene. If it's a nightmare and he's having a nightmare of Mustafar, well, you could just have scenes from Mustafar in this clouded nightmare thing, and then he wakes up huffing and puffing out of breath. They don't have to do, like, again, I asked the question, what is the purpose of it then? I heard that it'll be in a nightmare scene where Obi-Wan fights him in order to conquer his inner fear. So if that comes to be true, then no, it wouldn't be law-breaking. Again, I completely agree, but what's the purpose? Is it honestly just for the nostalgia? Is it honestly just for the flashy lights and the trying to promote it? Is it just jangling the keys if it is a nightmare or a dream sequence? I mean, if we're going to go force vision, the force vision has to be the vision of the fight on the Death Star, because there's no other fight that takes place. Again, I just want to thank everybody for voting. I mean, it's a very big ratio that's happened on both of these polls. A lot of people say that this is going to be destructive based on the fact that, yes, if they do face-to-face, then absolutely. Now, if it's a force vision like how they do it in the sequels, like a force Skype call, well, I don't like that either, because if Vader senses or knows that Obi-Wan is alive, he will find him and kill him. And then the last one, Ron Martin says, don't care. Really turned off now with all the woke. Which is fair enough. There is a lot of woke shit out there. And I hate how the spectrum of what's good and what's bad is based on if it's woke or not. That can be the case with a lot of it. But look, again, most people think that this fight is going to be, if it is a rematch, it is going to be law-breaking. But then if it is a dream or a vision or something like that, what is honestly the purpose of it? If it's just to show us how Obi-Wan is struggling with this pain, they don't need to do an entire rematch, quote unquote, to actually portray that. Anyway, I just wanted to get you guys the results of this poll out there. Thank you everybody who did participate in the poll. I didn't expect to even have over 500 people. I didn't really expect to have over 200 people. So to have 642 people vote on this poll, I appreciate it. Thank you all very, very much. And I will try and do more of this. Get a poll done, give you guys the results, and we'll go through some of the comments as well. So everyone, thank you. Please let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you didn't get to participate in the poll and you're watching this video, let me know in the comments. Do you guys think that this rematch of the century is law-breaking, continuity-breaking, and destructive to the character of Obi-Wan Kenobi? Let me know in the comments. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Later, guys.